So you do know. You ready for this conversation?
Girl, tonight is going to be thebomb.com.
Like, I don't know. I'm glad we have a decent bottle of wine because we're going to need it.
Yeah, because we're going to need this. Probably need a cigar afterwards, too.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Welcome back to another episode of Cigar Stems. I'm a lady. Tonight, we are talking about separation anxiety and what happens when you go through a divorce.
And the healing process of a divorce. Because, oh Lord, I had to heal from mine. Because if I didn't heal, I wasn't going to be good for nothing.
I'm telling you.
No
like I said, I'm glad we have this wine. Tonight, we have a Chateau Alon summer wine. It is a grape wine with peach flavor. It's a muscadine wine. I will be smoking on this Tabac Especial Negra. That just means dark. It doesn't mean anything other than dark.
Yes.
I like it. It's a really smooth taste in cigar. I love this little tube it comes in. It's so cute. Yeah, so this is what I'm going to enjoy tonight. What are you smoking on this day?
So tonight I'm doing me some creme, some connections, some Connecticut creme. I don't know anything about this cigar, and I'm going to tell you why. So the shop that I go to, they always put me on to something new. So, you know, this is my first time trying this.
Okay.
It has been sitting in my humidor, though, for quite some time, so it should be all good. The flavor should be there, and it should give me that relaxation that I'm going to look to pair with this wine. I think we're good, but Connecticut is always my go-to, by the way. Okay. So, I will let you know. We'll follow up at some point on how the smoke was.
Oh, absolutely. I'm excited. I'm excited about that smoke. We're going to need it tonight.
But let's talk about this
separation anxiety. It's not just for babies. It's not just for kids.
Yes, it's for women and adults and men too. Let me say that. You know, I am big on men go through separation anxiety from divorce as well. It's not just us. That go through it. We go through it. It's different. You know, the emotions might be a little bit different, but we all still go through it.
Yeah.
For me, I went through a divorce. My divorce was very rough. Nobody gets married
thinking they're gonna get divorced.
Stop, cause this gum.
She keeps trying to play with it.
Like I can't.
Oh yeah, that's one of my pet peeves, and I don't know why that kid.
Yeah, I feel like the usher should be here with. Remember the ushers, you know, from church? They'd be like, "Hey."
They didn't say nothing. It was automatic.
Spit out your gum.
I mean, I'm petty. I used to try to get it real wet.
Oh, you didn't spit that mess in a glove.
I did. Cause me chewing this gum was not interrupting.
Man, my grandma used to be like, I know it was that gum in your mouth in that quiet. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you. I'm so sorry. It will not happen again, ma'am.
You will not.
That was on her. So,
Demerits in detention.
Girl, you gonna be in a whole timeout for that one. You gonna be in timeout. Matter of fact, I wanna stand in the corner when we say.
Oh, y'all remember that? When you got in trouble in school, you had to go stand in the corner. Go stand in the corner. Put your nose in the corner. All right, let's run this thing back. All right.
I have experienced it in two different forms because I have been through two divorces.
Okay.
So yes. I think the worst one though, honestly, was my second divorce because I looked at that marriage as that was my forever marriage. That was my knight in shining armor. He was coming into my life, and we were going to be grand and
y'all were going to be that power couple, honey.
Honey, he was Prince not.
Oh.
He was Prince not. But as a woman and building a family, you know, and going through that whole thing of trying to build and trying to be a good wife, and then you get to the realization, and it's like, this ain't gonna work. We gonna get divorced. And it crushed me. Girl, I laid in bed for days. I laid in bed for days crying. Like, I was hurt. And it was before we were even legally divorced. It was
because when you know, you know. Like, when you know it's your time, like, look, listen. Whew, honey, I have given you a chance. See, for me, I had given you chance after chance after chance after chance, and it wasn't too many more chances. And I will never forget, because we were stationed in Alaska. and I'm gonna follow up with a few things in saying this. So I prayed. I said, God, if this is not where and who you want me to be with, and boy, they say, be careful what you
don't ask
for.
that.
So I said, whatever it takes, I'll do it.
Right.
If you want me to stay, I will work it out. But if it's not for me, just provide the way so I can get the hell on. I said, because I don't want to hurt nobody. Because I knew how bad my temper was. And I didn't want to do the fighting and the fussing and the cussing. Because at that time, I had a small child. My child was 2. So I was like, just put me in a position where I could leave. So I'll never forget, he came home and he said, well, I'm deploying. Thank you, Jesus. There you go. Because I knew I wasn't going to stay in an unfamiliar place where I didn't really have the support system with my child, and I needed to be with my mom and dad. I needed to be back home. So I felt like, okay, God, is that you? Is that what you're telling me? Oh, okay. Well, I need to go home.
Right.
So I'll never forget, I called my mom and said, I didn't tell her right then, and I'll say this. The reason I did not tell my mom right then is because for me, it was a pride issue. Nobody gets married. Nobody gets married to get a divorce, and
nobody's excited to make that phone call like, "Hey, Ma, we getting divorced, girl." It didn't work. It didn't work.
And I was like,
we tried to put on that front because I think we take it personally.
Right, but
when the marriage
it's the
work.
Embarrassment and it's the shame. And see, I didn't come from that. My parents have been married 55 years. My brother and my sister-in-law have been married like 24, 25 years. So I didn't want nobody looking at me crazy.
Like,
so when I did it, girl, I got on a little plane with the baby and all the stuff. And I just told them I was coming home for a long stay. And then I finally got up my nerve to tell my parents, okay, look, this ain't working. So I'm getting a divorce. Yeah. But in saying that, I will say this, and I don't know who this is for. It's okay. It really is. It is okay if things do not work out with that person.
Right.
Sometimes it does not mean in every situation that person is not for you. Sometimes it can mean that you might have to circle back around. You might have to go back and do your first workover. Y'all might have to be separated for a little bit of time so you get yourself together. And then you have those situations where it is absolutely not for you. And I will say this, and this is going to take a lot for me to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. So look, listen. I didn't have no business getting married. And that's real talk.
Yeah.
I knew when I was standing up there that I didn't have no business getting married. And it wasn't just because I wasn't ready. It was because that was not my soulmate.
Who you were to be married.
That was who Annalise wanted to marry. He was fine. He had the eyes. He had the body. He had everything I thought I wanted.
Right.
Until I started to learn the personality and this and this and that. And it took a while. Now, I will say this, ladies and gentlemen. Now, me and him are cool. We can talk. We can socialize, be cordial with one another, and it's no fake cordialness. A lot of people try to stay cordial because they have kids.
Right.
Me and him, that's my dude.
It's y'all.
And
cool.
That's my dude because not just because I have his child, but we have grown a certain type of relationship. But it took time. It took healing. It took a whole process for me to evolve into that person.
Well, I wasn't as classy or as upstanding in my separation anxiety as you were. In my second divorce, like you said, you knew you shouldn't marry that man. When it came down to it, I realized, okay, it was just some things that I overlooked. Mm-hmm. And, I was still kind of young, and I had 4 children from my first marriage. And, I was like, I have to have a husband. And he was a good guy. And he still is a good guy, but it's just certain things the good guys do that ain't right. But honey, in my separation anxiety, I didn't go home and try to keep it cool. Let me tell y'all what this man done did to me. And I was crying and I was hurt. And I did some unsavory things like, yes, I burned his clothes.
Okay.
Because I felt like
girl.
I wasn't waiting to exhale. I was waiting on the fire truck to pull up. I was serious. But I felt everything when she was standing in that closet and she analyzed everything in that closet and she was going through their marriage. I had that moment.
Did you get your cigarette?
Honey, I had a cigarette. I had a club tail.
Oh.
Because I told you it was not pretty. And because I was so hurt, because I could not believe that I was there, because I to me, he was supposed to be my everything. I put that man on a pedestal. He was supposed to be my king, my protector. I was supposed to be his queen, his give him whatever he needed, make his day better. Honey, it got so bad, I tried to flip the car that we had together because I had a flashback of us being married and having an argument.
Oh, wow.
And that's when I was like, ooh, now you trying to tear up yourself and your stuff. Hold on.
Wait a minute.
So it really affected me because I put so much into what it was supposed to be versus looking at what it was.
Right.
And when I finally took that mirror off and took those shades off and I saw it for what it was, I was like, girl, you was tripping. I had to have a whole conversation with myself. Mm-hmm. It wasn't anything that anyone else could tell me because they weren't in that marriage. They didn't put into that marriage what I did. So I really had to sit there and, like you said, healing, girl. I have some journals. And if he was to ever find those journals, he would probably be like, well, dang. But that's what I felt.
Right.
So when my separation anxiety, y'all, another man couldn't talk to me. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I didn't want to look at nobody. And then when I did talk to somebody, I was like, why did you like him? Like I was just analyzing every piece.
You like him, girl. Yeah.
You halfway walk like my ex-husband. I can't deal with
color?
You. Why your favorite color? Is that the only color you like? I can't deal with you today. You know what I mean? Because
but you be like that.
But it gets like that, and like you said, but once I started to heal, and once I started, because I played a big part in that. Because like I said, I looked at what it could be. I looked at what I wanted it to be. I didn't look at what it was. Because what it was he and I should not have been married, right?
There you go.
Man, y'all, my ex-husband was 6'9", y'all, and I'm telling y'all, I done walked up to this man with my short, tall self, and I'm ready to throw down. I'm all in his face. So it was not supposed to be that.
Yeah.
But the crying, and it took me a while because I would be good and like, okay, I done hung out with my girls, we done went and had dinner, or me and the children had a good day at school, everybody got A's on their report card, and then I go home and I accidentally smell that pillow that he used to sleep on that I didn't throw away, but I put behind the bed because I just couldn't get rid of it. I'm like, oh my God.
That's like,
But it took a lot. I literally had to go through my house and get rid of everything from that man, because it was so. It was personal.
Value. It was personal.
It was personal.
But I think once you start to heal, for me, the aftermath was, all my friends were like, "Ooh, girl, get rid of one man and get under the next," and that does not work.
That don't work because I'm looking at you and I'm imagining him and I'm thinking it could have been.
That is not going to work.
Do it like
good luck on whoever came up with that philosophy because that's not.
Yeah.
So what I had to do, my mother sat me down, a couple friends that really had my best interest at heart said, fall back from everything. Focus on you. Focus on God. Focus on your son. And once I learned how to be alone, that was the other thing. I had never been alone. I really started thinking about that because I was married for so long. So once I learned how to be alone, and I'm going to tell everybody, look, listen.
It's difficult.
It is so hard to be alone because your house gets quiet and your bed gets cold and it ain't nobody but you. And a baby can't help you. I'm going to tell you that now. You're going to get to a point where it's like, dang. But you have to learn how to discipline yourself. Yeah. And once you get that moment, for me, once I got that moment of, you know what, I'm going to be okay. Yeah. You know what? It's not to say I don't need a man. I like to put this out there. But I have the desire for a man. Right. But I don't need a man. Right. There's a difference. Please learn the difference between the two. Because there's a difference. Yeah. And when you have a desire for something, such as not having sex, because I did that for a very long time, not having sex, not inviting unwanted and unmerited company, watching who you hang around and who you're with, you have to learn how to disassociate all these different personalities and spirits. That's what I call them. And once you get to that point where you're okay with that, everything else falls into place. It took a while for everything
but that
to fall
process
into
is
place.
tough.
But that process
is tough. It's
boy,
not
buddy, because it was some days where I was like, ooh, should I call him?
You know what I'm saying?
And I'm going to tell you another thing.
I know I could.
Honey, them options will start to rolling. Once you get single and you're by yourself, because people, trust me, there is somebody out there looking at you and wanting you.
See, my problem was I did not know how to not be a wife. See, this was my second marriage.
Because it's like
my first marriage. My
Mm-hmm.
first marriage was almost 10 years, and I was young. So I'm mentally programmed to be a wife. I'm cooking your food. I'm washing your clothes. I'm doing this for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I had old women. I say I had old women training. They put me through wife training at a young age. You know, when you get your man, this is what you need to do. Make sure you do this. Make sure you do that. So I'm like, even if I would try to date after our divorce, I'm like, did you need me to take your clothes to the dry cleaners?
Yeah, it
clothes
becomes second nature.
You know,
yeah.
I packed your lunch for the next 2 weeks. All you gotta do is swing by the house and pick a container up. I'll put it in the mailbox. You don't even have to come in. You don't even have to come in. It'll be in the mailbox. You can get it on your way to work. But I had to learn how to not be a wife, how to not do those things I was so used to doing. And I had to get to know me. Because through all of that divorce and going through the situation that led to our divorce, I didn't know who I was. Because I had become so invested in being his wife, I didn't know who AISHA was. So for me, you know what I mean? It was good for me to get out and go to different places, and even just going to the movies with a group of friends was new for me because I was the one that was always married and couldn't go. You know, I had 4 young children, so I wasn't able to get out there. But once I started learning myself, it pushed me so. And I was like, the stuff that used to make me angry, or you know, I could be watching something on TV and be like, oh my God, that was me. He did me. I'm like, oh girl, you need to don't do that no more.
For real.
Because I started to learn who I was. But
That
honey, it is so, and a lot of people don't talk about it because I guess, like you said, because of pride.
Mm-hmm.
But that separation, when you know that it's done, it does something to you, and I became a different person.
Yeah.
I really did.
And it's healthy. It's really healthy it's healthy to when you're going through your healing process.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying. It's healthy when you start to learn who you truly, truly are. Because a lot of people, a lot of women I know, don't know who they truly are. Because you hide behind a man or you depend on a man. Mm-hmm. You know, my mom used to always tell me, you know, one thing I don't want you to ever do is get dependent on a man. You need to hold your own, you need to have your own. You need to be able to walk away from this thing and be able to do what you need to do. And when I got my divorce, I started to realize that. Because another thing is, for me, and I don't know about any of you other ladies out there, but I truly lost myself in my marriage.
Yes.
I totally lost my identity.
Yeah.
Not just who I was raised to be, but who I really truly was as a woman.
In your heart, in your spirit,
it was like
everything was dependent on that man.
A friend of mine actually told me, he said, go in the bathroom and look in the mirror and see if you can stare at your reflection. And I couldn't do it. Mm-hmm. Like, because I was so ashamed of who I had become. And I was like, wow, okay. And then I had to put in that work. And it took a while. I had to work my ass off to get back to who I needed to be. And then once I got to that point, then I was able to date. Ooh. But it took some time. Because I was like you. Like, the first guy that I dated, which is so funny, was 15 years older than me. So I was like, oh, Lord, I'm trying something new.
See, we're reversed.
Distinguished gentleman.
We're reversed because my second husband was so much older than me. The first relationship that I got into after that divorce,
was a younger guy?
He was a young man.
See, I was the opposite. He was an older guy, but I learned so many things, and I even now I do thank him because he pushed me. Because if he wouldn't have pushed, I wouldn't go nowhere. He pushed me to try to mature in ways that I needed to mature because it was needed. Yeah,
and like I said, I became, it was easy with me. it became, I thought that it was good because, okay, I got somebody I can cook for again. But then I'm like, hold on. Young man, young sir.
Not young man, young sir.
Young man, young sir. I can't do this. You are draining me.
Oh.
Because it was
He
almost
wasn't
as if
taking
I
your
was...
energy, was he?
Honey.
Unplug.
But that was still a process of me getting to
Turn off the
know
light
who
switch.
I was. You know what I'm saying? I had to learn what I liked. I had to learn what Aisha likes because a lot of the things that I was doing, because I knew my husband liked that. I know that's how he wants it. I know that's how he likes it.
Did you find yourself doing things for him that you would do for the husband?
Yes!
See, yeah.
And it wasn't even my plan. I'm like, okay, I'm over, we divorced, like I'm single, I'm fly, let's date.
She said, I'm fly, let's date.
But then I fell right back into that
same pattern
of this, you know what I'm saying, and everything that I was missing or I thought I was missing in my marriage, and it was just like, hold on, no. So I had to just stop. I had to fall back, and I had to really look at who I was because first marriage, 19 years old, and then you go all the way through your 20s, almost to, you know what I'm saying, mid-30s, beginning of your 30s being married, you don't know who you are.
Nope.
You know, you literally went from a little
'Cause y'all
girl
grew up
to a
together.
wife. We didn't grow up together. I was just your wife.
Hmm.
I was your wife. So I jumped into
So
that
where are
boat.
you now?
Oh, now I am Aisha Andrea doing my thing the way I want to. And if you can't swing with it, my bad.
Get off
find
the
somebody
swing.
else.
Get off and swing.
You'll figure it out. You'll be okay.
Right.
But I did not think I would be able to date again and be happy. And I've even dated people and it didn't work out, but we're still cool. We're friends. We can be cordial with one another because it's just like, nah, this ain't even it. I'm not even gonna
and see,
take
that's
it
what
there.
I like about it, like to be able to date on your own terms.
Girl.
Woo woo. Like,
Right.
look, boo. Hey, listen. It has been a pleasure knowing you.
Cause
Bless your heart.
I closed that off, and I became really mean. I was like, I don't want to date. I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm just gonna be by myself. Girl, please. Let's be real. I wanted.
And nobody wants to be by themselves.
No, I said, girl, I used to tell everybody, I'm not talking to nobody. I don't want to date nobody. Can't no man. You know, I was this sister. Can't no man do nothing for me. I'm good by myself. I'm raising my kids. I don't need no man. I don't need nobody. Then I'm laying in bed. I don't got nobody to talk to. I don't got nobody to just sit here and cuddle with, drink this wine with. You know, it was.
Damn.
It's like, okay, be
You
real.
be looking like, damn, all my friends going out with their friends.
Right. Oh, they going out on dates, and I'm sitting here talking
about.
about.
Because I used to be like, oh, y'all make me sick.
Yes, I became, and I had to check myself because I became that hater friend. I was like, ew, why you going
You
out
were a
with him?
negative Nancy.
Girl, I was a negative Nancy. I was a nuance. I guess if y'all want to go out, whatever. I ain't trying to go out with y'all and y'all all, ew, I'm not going to be the fifth wheel. Because I was so scared to put myself out there to receive that type of affection or attention again that I was just like, I'm going to be a thug about it. I'm going to be hard about it. Yes, honey.
It's going to be hard in these
I was
streets.
hardcore, and it did not work. You know, I still have my boundaries. I've learned to be able to set boundaries. And if you can't accept that, it's cool. It's no love lost.
No
but
love lost here.
I don't have to close myself off to the possibility. Because I was like, I'll never let anybody marry me. I'll never get married again.
So do you think you would ever get married again?
Yeah, God manifests himself in some FUBU sweats and a t-shirt with some old school J's and tell me that's the one for you. I'll do it for a third time. I will do it for a third time.
With
but
the FUBU.
He gonna have to be in the Walmart, okay? Because that's where it's at. And he gonna have to come to me like, Ish, I'm telling you, right? That's
Not
me.
Ish.
Because only God gonna be able to call me Ish the way God can call me Ish. And if he don't say that, that's the one. I created him for you. That's you. All of that right there is you. Other than that, like, I feel like I could be one. FUBU, you know.
Champion?
Mecca, whatever.
Oh, wow.
It's gonna have to be something old school to get my attention.
Echo.
You know what I'm saying? It's gonna have to be some old school.
So funny. Oh my God.
But seriously, I'm not close to the possibility of getting married again. But like I said, it's gonna be the vetting process. I will probably be, you know, my children will be in their 30s and 40s, and that's all. Mr. Henry just came to hang the Christmas lights. Take your toothbrush and your razor for the kids get here.
You are stupid.
But that works for me. If we have a 30-year relationship
be like on
without,
this Christmas, you know how she tried to play like, oh, but it was not her, her real thing, but he really, really was. Yeah, that'd be me too.
If that works, I'm cool with it. If we don't get, if because when you get married, it's supposed to be till death do you part. If I'm 97, you 99, and you died 100, and it was till death did us part. Even if it was only for 3 days, but we've been together for, I don't care. It's gonna happen, but I'm not.
But you know what? You say that, and it brings up a good point. You know, it is okay to find love at any age.
It is.
Like, it really is. I mean, you never know when you need it, and when you're gonna find it, and who you're gonna find it in. Just be willing to, like you said, love again. There is hope. There's still hope. To all my divorcees and divorcees out there, I'm letting you know now, there is hope. But you have to go through your process.
Yes.
Don't skip the process. Please don't skip the process.
It hurts.
Hurt people. I'm going to tell you that now. And what a lot of people will do is they'll get out of one situation, they don't know how to get along, and jump right into the next situation. You think you all healed, and then you go damage somebody else that didn't even deserve to be damaged.
Or you find yourself on that same hamster wheel, going through the same thing,
roller coaster in a cycle.
What am I doing? So,
and then you're going to be like AISHA, burning up people's clothes, cigarettes and stuff.
Listen.
You know, see, I ain't taking that. The most I did now, I did throw a vacuum cleaner. A whole vacuum cleaner. Girl, I chucked it. I don't know where the pregnancy strength. See? I was pregnant at the time.
Oh, so you were still in the marriage?
Yes, and I said, hold on, who you talking to? And chucked
This was during the separation anxiety. I mean, I looked around the house, and the house it was just him. I mean, and ooh.
But a lot of people I've noticed do that. I have a friend now, the whole entire house is her. And I'm like, bless your heart.
But for some people, that's their comfort.
I'm like, let it.
But that's their comfort. But for me, I couldn't stand looking at it. I'm laying in my bed by myself thinking about what you did and how we about to get divorced and it's going to cost $468.72. Let me burn all of this stuff. Divorce is not cheap, and I was hurting. And I can apologize. And I told him, you know, when you left, I burnt your stuff, right?
So let's talk about some advice. What advice do we have to give to the people? The ladies, the G's, the Jets.
Go through your process. Hurt the way you hurt. It's okay for you to cry. It's okay for you to be sad. It's okay for you to genuinely feel that.
Whatever you're going to feel.
Because you
feel
when you're with somebody for so long, it is a connection. And it's okay for you to feel that connection is now separated.
And
but don't lie to yourself that you're not going through it.
And there is not a time process for how long it takes to heal.
No.
Nobody can tell you how long it takes to heal. So I would say one piece of advice is to, like you said, go through your process. Therapy. Go to a therapist. I learned the hard way. I had pride. I didn't want to go to see a therapist. I thought going to a therapist was for other people, not of our culture. Funny thing, I work in that in mental health, but whatever. Once I went through going to counseling, I got my son as he got older because my son had to get adjusted. Even though he was small, I didn't realize how much of his father he was missing.
Yeah.
Ladies, I'm gonna say this. Whatsoever you do, unless it's domestic violence or something like that, don't cut your son or daughter's father out of their life. Do not do that.
Figure out the best way to be co-parents if you can.
Right.
If you are able.
Yeah, if you're able. Open up every avenue and revenue for that father to be involved. One thing was my biggest pet peeve because I have 2 boys. I do not have daughters. And all I knew was having a dad. All I knew growing up was having a 2-parent household. I never went without my dad in my house. And me and my dad are like this. My mother will always say that I take over my dad before I take up for her, but whatever. I am a daddy's girl. And I saw the way him and my brother had a bond. And once that bond is there with a man and to say something about a bond between a man and his son, if you have the opportunity,
keep it open.
Keep it open.
If
don't close the door. You know, me and my ex-husband, it took a long time for us to get there. But my rule was always, no matter where you're stationed, no matter where you at, you fly your behind out here, you come get your son. And my door is always open. My family is still, even though the hurt was there and some things were done and my mom and dad weren't too privy to it, my parents, even to this day, and we ain't been married in 11 years, their doors are still open. He can still stay there. I don't stay there.
Now,
but he can still stay there.
I would say this, for those of you that can't, and if it's not possible, do not beat yourself up. Understand we all play a role in everything.
Yep.
And once you go through it, you get through it, but you don't continue to beat yourself up. Oh, I should have did this. I should have did that. Maybe if I would have did this, don't beat yourself up. Everything happens for a reason. Mm-hmm. Like I said, go through what you need.
Every reason, every season, baby.
And then you grow through it and you learn. Don't beat yourself up. Don't take the baggage from that into the next. That's my biggest thing.
Ooh, yes.
And that's something that people need to learn how to do. Let that go. Leave that
Put it at the altar.
And
leave
not
it at the
take
altar.
it into
leave
whatever
you're
you're
doing
next. Right.
Leave it on 247.
Yeah.
That's a good place to leave it.
Oh, yeah. So, and this conversation is definitely going to continue in our next episode. We have something very special going on. I mean,
we got the
it's going to be, we're going to bring some gentlemen in.
We're going to be at
fellas.
New Images Barbershop. And I love to say this, in the great city of Warner Robins, Georgia. Some of y'all don't know what that is, but that's the home of Robins Air Force Base. That is my hometown. And we're going to be with Mr. Terry Bunch. And we got so much to say.
And we're going to have Miss Trina the doll bag. And we have a couple of more guests for you all. It's going to be a really nice discussion. And we just hope you guys tune in. We hope that you're enjoying the show. If you want to, I would appreciate it. You can follow me on social media. I'm Aisha Andrea. You can follow me on Instagram, Aisha120beauty. And that's on IG. What's your IG handle?
Girl, mine is JJ0528. So please follow me. And you can also follow the link below.
It's going to be down
there. We're going to have that. And you can, man, look, if you have a topic or something that you want some advice, you want to discuss,
send it to that email.
Even if you want to be on the show, check this out. All you got to do is email us at Cigar Stems, I'm a lady, @gmail.com. Yes. It's your girl, Miss Annalise Jade.
And I'm Aisha Andrea. We'll see y'all next time.
We out, boo.